Hey everybody, Andrew Lowen with Deliverance here to talk to you about two things. Number one, the Golden Geek Awards and results and my reflections on those things, as well as the contest, which for those of you that are not familiar, we asked all of our fans to record or to fill out a form, and that would help us understand what you like about the game and that sort of thing. And that's something that we'll be using to give out a free game, an awesome art piece that's original sketch art from Dan Maynard. And we don't do sketch art anymore, so that's actually a very rare thing indeed. And then another thing is the free set of painted angel miniatures, which is really awesome. So so let's talk about the end from just the latter thing, just to get that out of the way. The contest. I will be drawing winners today and emailing you. So we're gonna have three separate winners, and so look out in your inboxes if you filled out the form. If you haven't yet filled out the form, the contest is ending and everything, but it's still very useful information. So I'll make sure to include a link to that in the description below this video. So now let's get into Golden Geek stuff because it's funny because we tried so hard. To quote a Linkin Park song, we tried so hard and we got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter. So we didn't win. We made it to the finals. Let me kind of full circle, kind of looking back, explain where we were and where we got and what the end was. So the Golden Geek Awards are a yearly contest that's run on BoardGameGeek.com, the largest user trafficked website for board games. And it specifically focuses on the best games of the year. That is, in particular, the best games that were released during the year of 2023 is this most recent one. Next year will be the games that actually hit the market in 2024. So we're going to run our next expansion Kickstarter in 2024, but it won't be up for a Board Game Geek Award until the year that it actually arrives. So if that makes sense. We released the game in 2023, like between really like September to November is when we delivered most of our games to everybody. And so we were in for the awards. They announced the nominations early April, and it ended up that I sent an email out, and I think we had a Kickstarter update and just like one notification in each of our social media communities, like Discord, Facebook, and on Board Game Geek. Vote for us, and we qualified for 5 categories. Like it was really awesome. I actually spent a little bit of time looking, and a game that's somewhat in the same genre is Tainted Grail: Fall of Avalon. They qualified when they launched for 6 different categories. They actually ended up winning one of them. But I looked at other games that were kind of like Deliverance. So Deliverance is our very first game that we've ever made. And so to be up for 5 awards, so we, to give you guys an understanding of the gravity of the situation, like BoardGameGeek.com adds several thousand games every year to their database. Several thousand games are released every year. I'm, approaching I want to say it's like 6,000 games or more that are like hobby level games that are tracked on Board Game Geek. And so we were, in essence, in the top 10 of all games in best cooperative game, best solo game, most innovative game, most thematic game, and then for our artwork and presentation. So those 5 awards. We weren't just a nominee, we were a finalist. So we were one of the top 10. In some cases, there were like 11 games if they were like really close, or 12. I think one category had 12. I think artwork had 12. And I don't know exactly how we did on all of them, but I generally know that we didn't win. We didn't win anything. So we weren't the absolute best cooperative game as voted by the Board Game Geek users and whatnot. And we didn't get first runner-up or second runner-up. So I wanted to just share a little bit about this for those that care kind of how I think, because it feels sort of dumb. I feel sort of dumb, and at the same time, I don't regret anything. So I feel like when it was announced that we were a finalist in 5 different categories. I got really excited, and it felt like, I was really came down to like, I either go for this and really, really put a lot of effort in, or not at all, or don't even touch it at all, and just make it like, yeah, guys, we qualified, if you guys want to vote, then do. And of course, being the, I can't ever do anything halfway, I went all in and was like, guys, let's try to win. Now that we got nominated for so much, let's try to win. What if we win something, It's the first time that a game like this, that a Christian game, has ever been nominated for an award, to my knowledge, like this. And, on Board Game Geek. And then second of all, to be nominated for 5 is so incredible. We're going to be able to put that on our Kickstarter page, that we were a Golden Geek, nominee for 5 categories, like a finalist for 5 categories. It's just social proof that it's really good, So, I feel sort of dumb because I really went all out. I probably worked an extra 15 hours a week just on contest related stuff. I sent out emails. I sent out an email. 2 days later, I resent to the people who didn't open the first email with a new subject line. I would, put a Facebook post out there. I'm a marketing brain. I sent out emails and Kickstarter updates on, kind of an off. Normally we send out a Kickstarter update once a month on the very last day of the month, but I actually sent one out that was special, like in the middle, and we revealed some new art and other things like that, but also we really encouraged people to vote for us. And we had tons of people looking to get Geek Gold on Board Game Geek. So Geek Gold is a thing that you needed to have at least 20 Geek Gold to vote. And, they do that in order to kind of prevent cheating and whatnot. So we had a lot of people. I handed out Geek Gold to my parents and a few friends and a couple of Deliverance fans that asked like very early on. And then I realized, well, I don't want to put my thumb on the scale too much. So if fans want to give other fans gold, then we'll do that. And so I encourage people, hey, make a post and, see if fans will help you, because I didn't want to. I have like 7,000 Geek Gold. I didn't want to give it out 20 at a time to everyone who would vote for me, and I just felt like that wouldn't be a good idea, certainly not optics wise, but also, it would feel like, if we won or something, and because I did that, I don't know, I just wouldn't feel good to do that. So, in the end, we did everything. I can say with confidence that I did absolutely everything in my power to win. I tried hard. I did everything. I didn't, you guys are very gracious and patient. You probably received a lot of emails and a lot of notifications. It was a thing, definitely in our community. And we didn't win. We just didn't. And in the end, I'm okay with that. And that's why I want to talk about this. So why? Because there was stiff competition, very, very stiff. So the thing is, like, when you look on our stats on Board Game Geek, when you look at our game stats on Board Game Geek, we have in our community, we have about 1.1 thousand Board Game Geek users. So 1,100 Board Game Geek users own our game. So that's what they listed. So they're like active users that say like, do you own Deliverance? Yes. And, when you rate the game, you get to say if you own it, and that's the, that's, or if it's on your wish list or that kind of thing. So we have, roughly 1.1 thousand people that own it and 810 people that wish listed it. And, so it's, when you compare that to the games that won, you have Sky Team, which won, I believe, Best Cooperative Game. And that one, it had 13,000 people that own it. Hegemony is another game that ended up winning, I want to say Most Innovative. That game had like 11,000 people, 11.1 thousand, like 10 times as many people that we have. That's how many they had. And so there are just so many more games out there. If we've sold 5,000 games and we have 1.1 thousand people that actually own it on Board Game Geek, you're going to see like Hegemony probably sold 50,000 units, and they just have way more people that are on Board Game Geek. And at the end of the day, it's a popularity contest for, you get to the finalists, and it's like, what games have you played? Number one, what games are your favorite? Number two, and you rate them in whatever order. And we just had a lot of people, voting. And from what I was told, there are actually more people that vote in the final on the finalists than in the nominations. That just tends to be the way that it is. It seems to be a bigger deal when you vote for your very favorite, rather than when you nominate a game. You actually have to go find the game, punch it in, and then nominate it for a category. So that's what I find. Like, in the end, it's like we're like this tiny little ant, not standing any chance at all of an award, because we just didn't like sell enough units. It's our very first game we've ever made, which is such an honor to be nominated and a finalist for 5 different awards for our very first game. That's just really a testament to you guys and how much of a fan you guys are of Deliverance. So what's it mean at the end of the day? Like I said, I use that phrase a lot. But at the end of the day, after all is said and done, we received 5 awards and honors. These on Board Game Geek. We've got those listed on our profile, and in theory, nobody can take that away from us, right? So, what other games? I looked at a couple of other games that were like among the first. I mentioned Tainted Grail, among the first games that a studio has released. Tainted Grail, I don't think was the first that Awakened Realms released, but it was one of the earlier projects, like maybe right after Nemesis or something. But so they had some notoriety. But Too Many Bones by Chip Theory Games is very much like Deliverance. They were only nominated for 2 awards. They didn't win any. Oathsworn Into the Deepwood, really, really fantastic game that a lot of people love. Somewhat, similar to Deliverance in the way that the combat is run. They also were nominated for 2 awards. They didn't win any. Tainted Grail, as I mentioned, they were nominated for 6 awards, and they only won a single award, which is crazy because that game had, like 10,000 backers or on Kickstarter, just a ton of people. So overall, that's like, we're among just incredible company. And so I just wanted to, because so many of you have been part of this, because you've been voting, you've been encouraging others, you've been, seeing the emails, seeing the Facebook posts, the Discord community, that kind of thing. You've watched the video that I posted on YouTube earlier and all of that. I wanted to just share with you and give you encouragement that Deliverance, the critical path of Deliverance is not in winning awards. Like, we don't need to win awards necessarily. We need to build fans, and the awards, the honors are, we actually earned top 10 solo games and other, like Man vs. Meeple stuff and other things like that. But, none of that really, really matters. Like, I hope we get things like, the Dice Tower Seal of Excellence or Seal of Approval. I hope we get other awards, just notoriety that I, for other things that I have not heard of yet. But the key, the category, like the key is not winning awards, and the thing that we need to do is not related to winning awards at all. The only thing that matters is, number one, releasing a really great game that did well on Kickstarter, which we did, that people love when they receive it. Like, and that was really important. It's done. That step 1 complete. It only took 7.5 years to do that. Then step 2 is to support the game and the community. So what we're doing is every quarter we're releasing new scenario packs, which is a brand new system that that kind of fits into Deliverance. You've got the one-shot style of the skirmish gameplay with the interesting victory conditions of the campaign mode, and it is a super fun system to play if you love Deliverance, and that's every quarter. Then and that's kind of one of the ways that we support our community of players that love to play the game. We want to give you guys new content, and we don't ask. We're not asking that you guys pay anything for that. All of those are free because we love you guys. You guys have helped us sell games, and that's given us enough revenue to be able to do this. Now the big key is and again, I mentioned the word critical path. It's like the path, the important path that you have to take. You can deviate from that and do more than one thing, or deviate from the path, but you got to get back to that critical path to actually make forward progress. So the next thing that we need to do to make forward progress is we need to have our next Kickstarter. It needs to be very successful. If it's super successful. It's going to allow us to make more Deliverance. It's going to continue to allow us to get those scenarios done and that kind of thing. And, continue to support the community and all of that. So if, my big, hairy, audacious goal is to make $1 million on our next Kickstarter. And if we don't make $1 million, then, I don't know, if we make the same we made before, like, that's amazing. It's going to be amazing. So we have a lot of plans. It's incredible to think that, we have enough money to get from here. It's May. We're going to launch on September 24th. So we're going to launch on September 24th. We're going to start the marketing machine in like July. So like July 21st, like right after, about the next month after Origins. That's going to be a really important time for us. We're going to run ads and other things like that. And we have enough money now in the account, for low-end games to actually make it all the way there without going into debt. And that is a huge difference from where we were before. When I started Deliverance, we were $60,000 in debt. And I say 60,000, I think we were actually like 59,000 and change in debt from, from doing all the art and everything like that. And now we're actually going to be able to go in with a much larger advertising budget, and we will have enough money to actually get there without being in credit card debt and debt on a home equity line of credit and that kind of thing. I mean, it was kind of scary to do that for the first game, but it needed to be done. It was a very expensive initiative. Deliverance is a huge game. You guys know the art is like super high quality and everything. But so anyway, that's where we're at now. So we failed spectacularly. We tried our very, very best to get to win an award. We were nominated for 5, but we didn't win any. So we failed. We failed spectacularly. And I feel great about that. I'm okay with it. We didn't, it turns out we didn't stand a chance to win. I tried my absolute best. There's nothing else I could have done, and we didn't make it. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to make it in the future. When we've got, 100 times the Deliverance players out there, it's going to be easier to win awards like that because more people will have experience with the game, more people will know about it, more people will want to vote for it, and so on. So maybe it's going to be something really, really special. But what we're building toward that. And none, again, I say the awards don't matter. I feel like the awards are more like a side effect of just having a really awesome community, a really great group of players that are passionate about the game and that kind of thing. And so that's where we're working. We're working toward that. We want to support you guys that love the game. That we're really doing everything we can to give you guys what you want, and to kind of go back to the form. That was the purpose of every single question that I asked. It's like, what's your favorite angel? Who do you, what's your favorite way to get like updates about the game? What do you like about the, we just have tons and tons of things. Like, what player counts do you typically play? And, so it was a really, really enlightening thing, but, the forum was, and I'm just really blessed to be able to do this with you guys. Like, I know I'm the captain at the helm, right? But and you guys are on this journey with me. But I'm just really, really happy that I get to work with you guys. Like, you're with me, on this journey. You're not like, I'm not. I don't feel like a conductor that's running the train by myself, and then you guys are just passengers riding with me. Like, I really feel like you guys contribute, you guys have feedback, and you give it, and I try to listen, and that kind of thing. That really matters to me. But what's so cool about it now is that, when I started doing this, it was a very, very lonely road. Like, I can't overstate how lonely it was to know all of the math and everything going on inside my head, and then to talk about technical stuff like, particular boss fights and mechanics and whatever. But then having you guys, before you guys had the game, you guys really couldn't understand. You couldn't really speak to I don't know. It was hard to, in a way, kind of hard to carry on a deep conversation about all the things that were going on in my head. But now that you guys have the game, you guys are able to have those conversations. And it's just so cool to see things like that happening on Facebook and Discord, especially, and, Board Game Geek, people asking great questions. And so I feel my heart is so full when I think about you guys and how you all care. You actually care about this. And I know at the end of I'll using the phrase again, at the end of the day, I know that Deliverance is a small piece of everybody's life. It's not the main thing that you're thinking about on a day-to-day basis, right? You've all got, I don't know, jobs and family and other like responsibilities, school, whatever it is that you do. And those are the main things that you are thinking about. And then you have Deliverance and you play it. Some of you play it sometimes, some of you play it a lot. And, we saw that on the forum and everything in between. But for any bit of involvement that you have, it makes such a difference, not only in my life, in all the people that work on this, in all their lives, and then also in the quality of the next game. Every single thing, any little comment that you guys make, any little contribution you guys make, that is noticed. And I really appreciate that. So I just wanted to get on, share with you guys about my, my perspective on our contest results at Board Game Geek. And, I look forward to seeing you guys. We have more to share, a whole lot more to share that we're going to kind of get into as we continue to make progress, toward that July 21st date. But we've got Origins in about a month. If you're going to be at Origins in Columbus, Ohio, then I'll see you there. We're booth 745, and we're going to be playing games and expansion content and other things like that. So you guys will be able to play some of the characters and fight some of the bosses and that kind of thing. So hopefully, you guys have a ton of fun with that. And I'm going to see you all in the next video. I'll catch you later. Andrew Lowen signing out.